Not doing these things thinking these ways, and because some of the things I was talking about is how you're thinking about your partner. It's so important. Not doing them makes it almost certain that your partner is going to feel unloved, unseen, not understood, and they're going to get resentful. So we don't really get to have a good relationship when we're putting it on hold. Like we're putting the work of it on hold. Hi there, and welcome to the 3 mistakes that couples make that can lead to divorce. This is the Talk Love with Carol show, episode 42. So when couples call to ask me if they can work with me, a number of them say that they have even thought of divorce, but they don't want their issues to get, or their problems to get that bad. So they really want to work on it. And I, who used to specialize in helping people recover from divorce after they were divorced, know how bad divorce is. I decided after doing that for 5 years and seeing the shattering of families that happens. Now, some people need to get divorced, but after working in that area for 5 years, I decided to work in prevention. And that's kind of what my thing is. And to dedicate my life, my work life, to helping people not only prevent divorce, but to create and grow their relationship so that they get the relationship and the life of their dreams. So I'm Dr. Carol Henry. I'm a relationship coach and a psychologist. And I work with couples 1-to-1, or really it's 1-to-2 since there's 2 of them, and also have group coaching for couples where they can get the benefit, if they choose to, they can get the benefit of being in a group of other like-minded couples who really are involved in wanting to grow their relationship. So today, again, is about 3 mistakes that people make that can lead to divorce. Number 1 is not being connected, both emotionally and physically, not being connected. So in our busy lives, some of us tend to believe that we don't need to take care of, with time and energy, our relationship. It'll just kind of take care of itself. After all, we're all adults and the kids need me or work needs me, and I'm working so hard. I'm working hard to build a nest egg. I'm working hard around the house as well. I'm tired at the end of the day and I want to just watch TV. Well, that leads to disconnection, emotional disconnection, and physical disconnection. So I want to say one thing about lovemaking. It's not just about sex. It's about paying attention. It's about hugs and kisses when you leave or return home. It's smiling at your partner, doing sweet things for your partner, seeing your partner, really seeing him or her, that in that awareness. Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they tired? Are they upset, overwhelmed, worried? Prioritizing your partner and thinking, how can I help? Or what can I do that would make my partner happy? Okay. Not doing these things thinking these ways, and because some of the things I was talking about is how you're thinking about your partner. It's so important. Not doing them makes it almost certain that your partner is going to feel unloved, unseen, not understood, and they're going to get resentful and possibly bored. But in any rate, it's very, dangerous. So we don't really get to have a good relationship when we're putting it on hold. Like we're putting the work of it on hold. That's how you get disconnected. That's how you get emotionally disconnected and physically disconnected. And it's red flag number one of the ones that we're talking about today. It really, you have to really think about that. You have awareness. Do we have that? So let's move on to the second one. Frequent arguing, even over little things, and being defensive, or as it turns out, avoiding talking at all. That's just as bad as for the relationship, for the connection in the relationship, as frequent arguing. But frequent arguing is pretty bad. So, because talking together, when we're doing it well, talking together is sort of the currency of a relationship. It's how you understand each other and how you become understood. And when many of your conversations turn into raised voices, mean comments, and intense anger, it's a big red flag. You can't understand each other anymore. I mean, you can't because you're not really talking, you're just arguing. Your brain gets into the fight or flight process. That's gotten activated, and you either go for the win, which can feel like going for the jugular, or you flee and leave your partner hanging. When that happens a lot, both you and your partner end up oftentimes feeling kind of hopeless. Like, how are we ever going to fix this? How are we even going to know each other? How do we love each other and understand each other if we can't even talk? This is such I won't say, let's say frequent. I was going to say common. It's not everybody has that, but a lot of people have that. In fact, it's the complaint that most people talk to me about at first when they call me up, that we have poor communication. Not everybody, but I would say most. And when you get into hopeless, resentful, and really feeling alone in your relationship, because everything turns into a fight, so you just don't talk, or you just know the minute you bring anything up, it's going to be a fight, then that feels hopeless to people. It's not. Because I work with that a lot and help people with it, but it feels so bad when it's going on. And sometimes the arguments, I said, you say mean things. Some of them, people get so agitated that they say really, really harmful things, things bad about their partner, like you're lazy or you're no good at this, or, something which they may not really think, but they say it because they're angry and they're getting into that, as I said, go for the jugular thing. Well, those words resonate for years. We have to be careful of that. Okay, the third point, the third mistake is trying to control the other person. So many couples have this dynamic, and control has many faces. It can be criticism, like of the way your partner takes care of the house, how much the other person works, how they parent, how much money the partner makes or contributes to the family, or how much time that your partner, or they might be saying this about you, how much time you spend with friends or with doing activities that you like, bike riding, running, kayaking, reading, charity work. So that the the criticism about that and the complaint about that has a controlling aspect of it. Now, it's okay to ask for more time together, but I'm talking about when it gets to be kind of chronic, and it's about a lot of different things. So another face that control takes can be jealousy. So worrying that a faithful partner, somebody who's proved that they're faithful over the years, is flirting, is about to have an affair, finds others more interesting, has friends they want to be intimate with instead of just friends. So I don't mean the person actually has those things, but that's what the partner thinks. They're jealous. They want that person with them all the time. They're afraid that they're going to stray, even though that tends to be something more going on with the person who's making that those complaints than it is about the other person. So they try to control their partner's activities because of jealousy through complaining, criticism, ultimatums, like, you just can't. If you want to be with me, you just can't do that kind of thing. One couple I worked with, the woman was just sure that her husband was might have an affair with one of his women friends that he'd had for probably 15 years. Just because it was a person of not his gender, that was a huge problem for her. So that's another one that felt to him like control. Anyway, another face that control takes, or another subject that's very common in people that have control as an issue in their relationship, is money. One partner takes charge of the money and doles it out on an as needed basis, in what they think is needed, or goes through the credit card bill and asks for each line item, what was this for, and why did you why did you get it? Usually with the idea you spent too much. And this, just sitting there having that conversation, is it leads people into this sort of parent-child, or boss and employee, but mostly parent-child kind of aspect, which is another huge flag in relationships. So now, I'm not talking about people who one person can't do math very well or really doesn't like details, and the other one happens to be a CPA and they can do it really well. That's not necessarily anything about control. That's just people doing the thing that they're the best at. But it's when it gets down to the criticism that you shouldn't have done this. That's not, that's not an expense I approve of. That kind of thing is control. And money is power. So sometimes it gets mixed up in our minds. So what can you do about some of these things? So what can you do to fix that, or to work on them, to understand them, and to work on them? So in the connection one, the physical and emotional connection, this is not going to be a surprise, but take the time to be together. Realize that your relationship is an entity. It's not just that you live together in the house. The relationship itself is a living, changing thing, and you need to pay attention to it. Let's just make an analogy. Hopefully in your car, which wears out after a while and needs some attention, one of the things it needs is gas. So you fill it up. And then as you notice it going down, you take note and you think, depending on how you do this, if I get to be between a quarter and a half, I'm pretty much going to go to the store. I mean, not the store, the gas station, and fill it up. That's my thing. But whatever it is, when when your car is getting low on oil, getting low on gas, is hard to brake, put the brakes on. You take care of it. Now, unlike cars, which have, you know, indications, oh, you're running out of gas. Relationships don't have those. At least they don't have a real gauge. But they need, just like the car needs attention, it needs fuel. We need to do that with our relationship. We need to take care of it. Take proper care. If something looks amiss, do something about it. Do some fun things. It's more fun than getting gas. Do some fun things that you can do at home or go out. Prioritize the relationship. That's important. And in the physical aspect of the relationship, just remember some of the things we talked about when we were talking about what are the other parts of making love. Set the intention that you're going to do some of those things. And what often happens when people really decide, I'm going to hug and kiss, I'm going to take the time to think about how is my partner doing, to inquire, to do those loving things, it tends to lead to, or pave the way toward more lovemaking, more sexual lovemaking. Just saying. So when it comes to arguing, first of all, listen to the other person. And listen not to argue better, not to build your case in your own mind. Listen to understand. Then pause after you've heard what your partner says. Think for a moment about what they just said, and then talk. Set yourself up for success by deciding that every conversation or every disagreement is an opportunity to understand your partner better. And hopefully it's an opportunity to resolve whatever the disagreement is, if it needs to be resolved. Some disagreements are just disagreements and they don't need to be solved. But to set yourself up for success, listen to understand, and then talk in a way that your partner is most likely to understand you. That's with calm. That's with starting the sentence with I. Like, I notice this, I feel this way about it, and it means this much to me. This is what it means to me. So we've talked about that in other episodes, and I will talk about it again, but that's just the highlights. And the last part of the arguing issue is make sure that you don't enter a discussion with a win-lose mindset. Try to remember this is your beloved partner, and you're not trying to win and get something in your side of the tally. The point is to understand and to be caring at the same time. And then you see what happens. Okay. When it comes to control, which was the third mistake, recognize it. That's the first thing to do about it. Recognize it in your relationship. Is it you? Are you the one? Is it your partner? Or maybe neither of you, and then it's not an issue. But if it is, who is it? And if it's you, own it. Try to understand why the other person, or you, if it's you, are feeling the need to control. And then let's say it's your partner. They're feeling the need to control. Do you have a part in that? Is there anything that you've done that even makes sense in this to have created this dynamic? For example, let's say if it's money control. Have you overspent consistently, run up credit card debt that it's hard to pay off? Um, if so, I don't mean that you should be controlled, but I mean, when if you step up to that, own it and say something to the effect of, I know I've done that in the past, so I understand that you're afraid I'm going to do that again. I promise you I won't. I want us to work our money together and come up with joint goals. And I will not uh, do what I did before. If you did that. So at any rate, even if you had done it, it's not a good dynamic. It's not a sustainable dynamic. And so, I mean, the control isn't. And so you want to change it and make that declaration that you want to change this dynamic. You realize you did, if you did, that you did some things to start the dynamic, perhaps, or to get your partner afraid that you're going to do the old thing again. But you still need a new dynamic. And ideally, the partner, if you're the one that's controlling, that they'll see their own part in it. But if not, you can still figure this out. So if you'd like my help in any of these or all of those or other things, give me a call. I have a free discovery call, and I'm going to put the link in the comments. And so call me. You can also join our Facebook group, which is called Committed Couples Growing Together. And you'll be with like-minded people who are trying to grow their relationship, who are trying to get past some of these mistakes, who want advice and even help each other. If you ask for what should I do in this thing, someone will likely answer you. I will for sure in the group. That's it. And I will see you hopefully next week. I'm going to be talking about trust in relationships. So hope you got some ideas from this today, and I'll see you next week. Bye now.